Well, oh God, that was loud.
Am I making a lot of noise?
So I crank my headphones up really loud.
Yeah.
And because of that, like, these feeds are so loud in my ear.
I'll talk like this.
Thank you.
I'm concentrated. I'm good.
Actually, this is much better. Like, this would be a badass interview, like all whispers.
And
Oh my God, I love it. Let me add Tucker into the fun.
There's the laugh.
You have missed everything, Tucker.
In 1 minute?
I'm going to actually make this an ASMR interview.
Yeah, so it's all going to be whispers.
Oh, yeah, I'm out of here.
Sophie Tucker, I just want to let you know this layout is completely throwing me off right now. Are you there? Hello?
It looks great. It looks great to us.
I think
You're
we should
larger than life, and then we're just the little featured people on your show. It's perfect.
I think we should rebrand. Just make it Brian Sophie Tucker.
Tucker, when you said it like that, like talking about you guys as the little people, I'm like, oh man, that just makes me feel even worse about this. Well, Sophie Tucker, welcome back to America's Dance 30. It's so great seeing you guys.
So good to be here again.
Always love to be back.
It feels like it has been forever since we've caught up. Congratulations on another #1 for you guys.
It's pretty cool. We just got
Are you hearing this?
What?
Like crazy. I'm getting crazy feedback.
Was that like a lizard or something?
Do you hear that?
I
heard something like, oh yeah.
Ew, what is that? Whoa!
I'm gonna go ahead and blame it on Tucker.
I'm gonna go ahead and blame it on the aliens that are invading us right now. Wow. This interview is doomed from the beginning.
We're doing a great job.
I'm just gonna see her with my wet tennis balls.
It's still happening.
Yeah, I don't hear it anymore, T.
It sounds crazy, but that's fine.
All right. Congratulations on another #1 that is so amazing for you guys.
Thank you. What?
This interview is off to a horrible start.
Why are we laughing? Sophie didn't answer. What the hell?
I was creating space for you, T. I created the floor, and then all you did was thank you.
It made it look like you weren't excited that we got a #1.
Can I just say that out of all the interviews we've done, this is possibly the worst interview we have ever.
Not possibly. We're usually on it. I feel like our interviews are so solid and on point.
They are.
We've been on tour for a while. We're not at our peak performance right now.
When I have other artist interviews, I actually show them our interviews and say, it's got to be like this or it's not going to happen. So, all right. So we'll put the jet lag aside and my idiocracy aside. My most important question about summer in New York is the man across the street with the best smile real?
Oh my God.
Good question. That is the best question.
Nobody has ever asked that question.
Really?
And yes, nobody's asked it. Okay. So the answer to your question is yes, 100%. Everything in that song is real.
Who
and
is it?
I'm not going to tell you, and I'm not going to say that on the freaking radio.
Do I know them?
Sophie,
yeah, you know them.
Would you please stop writing songs about me? I mean, it's getting really hard.
So basically, I was on my bike in Soho, and I saw a man, and he was smiling, and I was like, oh my God, that is the best smile I've ever seen. I remember clocking it. And I think I maybe biked after him a little bit.
Brian, can you imagine being so good looking that girls bike after you?
What are you talking about? It happens every weekend to me.
I didn't mean that as a diss. I can't imagine personally. That's crazy.
So then I bump into this guy randomly a week later, and I was like, oh my God, it's the guy with the best smile. So I walked up to him and I was like, I just have to tell you, you literally have the best smile I've ever seen. And then we became friends.
That is
Did you
so
become
awesome.
friends or did you become friends?
we became friends, and then we became friends.
Okay.
That is incredible that everything in the song is real. Now, before we talk about how the song was born and how it came about, you guys are on your wet tennis tour right now. I got my wet tennis balls right here. That sounds so awkward. Wet tennis balls right here.
It still sounds awkward.
Still sounds very awkward. You guys just got done playing Tomorrowland as well, which was incredible. Do you guys have a favorite show on the tour yet that you've done so far?
This past tour, so we had a North American live show tour, and then we went to Europe and did a DJ run. So we did Tomorrowland, Ultra Europe, Electric Castle, some like really big sort of main stage DJ sets, which is a very different show than our live show. And then we went back to our live show for an Australian tour. And then we just got back. So we're in LA now after going the other way around the world. And then we're heading back to New York. I'm going back tomorrow, Sophie, in a couple days. So there was a lot of shows to choose from, is my point. And I think from the live tour, playing at the new Brooklyn Mirage was insane. It's also like 5 minutes from our house, which is so cool to play such a meaningful show with so many people that feels like a milestone, and you literally walk home afterwards. I mean, that's so weird.
We definitely did not walk home, Tuck. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I don't walk at all.
Also hates walking.
I don't walk.
That is the weirdest. Like, what?
Oh my gosh, Sophie, it's a figure of speech. I'm saying
we did get to sleep in our own beds.
You
definitely did not walk.
You could have walked home. You might have been harassed by 1,000 people, but you could have walked home.
I'm going to leave this interview and you guys can just have the conversation by yourselves. This is why I love talking to you guys.
Can't get a sentence out without getting scrutinized here.
So, Brooklyn Mirage is from that set. And how about your favorite from the other set?
I would say my favorite from the DJ set was Ultra Europe. Like, first of all, being in Split, Croatia was very cool. But also Ultra Europe, I mean, I guess Ultra is this way too, but it was so international. And you'd look out into the crowd and there were just flags from all over the world. And it just felt like very familiar and comfortable actually for me, because I grew up like in international schools and in like very international communities. So like a place where like everyone is, holding up flags from their country and speaking 1,000 different languages is so my comfort zone in the best way.
It also, I think it went with it goes with our music and our sets a lot, because it sort of felt like a meeting place for so many different cultures and people from all different places. And I feel like that's kind of what our music sounds like, or what we want it to sound like, or what we try to make it sound like. So I think it did feel at home. I get that. Also, for the record, I don't actually think Brooklyn Mirage was my favorite show on the North American tour, because it is so stressful. I'm just saying, it was unbelievable to play it. It stands out. And my dad performed with us because he's on one of the songs called Larry Bird. And so that it was maybe the most special because of that. But the West Coast shows were nuts. When we were playing Greek Berkeley, it's like 9,000 people. That place is crazy. Outdoor Shrine was another like 8,000 or 9,000. That was like mind blowing. So I don't know. Just
all of them. I will say, though, that I agree with you. Being at festivals and seeing everybody's different flags is just so incredible. And with you guys doing both live shows and DJ shows, is it tough going back and forth?
I love going back and forth. I feel like it just allows us. Oh, my God. Now there's sound in my video. What is happening?
I told you this interview is doomed from the beginning.
Oh my God. So I love going back and forth because it's just such a different experience. I'm going to close the window.
It's not that bad.
It's not bad.
Okay. Yeah, I love doing both DJ sets and live shows. It's the short answer.
They're very different. With a live show, it's kind of an all day. Like, we need to make sure we're eating at the right amount of time before the show. We need to have so much prep. We start like vocal warm-ups an hour and a half before the show. Like, can't really socialize before, really have to zone in. And DJ sets are much more sort of chill on our, I think, mental psyche. Like we can go to dinner with friends and then just have like 20 minutes before a DJ set to zone in, and that's enough. So I think it's like more sustainable doing the DJ stuff because it's kind of less mental stress, but the rewardingness of a huge live show, I think for us is kind of unparalleled because I feel like we really try so hard and work at it to do something different and something that like I think separates us more from the rest of the dance music world in that, and I feel really proud of it because I think we've done a cool job of making dance music into a live show.
Yeah, you guys definitely have done that. And I'm sure with both shows, it's incredible seeing the crowds singing Summer in New York back to you guys. Let's talk about this number one. Now, when you're sampling an iconic song like Tom's Diner, do you work around the sample or do you kind of do the sample first and then do the song? How does it work when you're doing that?
So we actually wrote the song first, and we had, a day in the life, basically a day in our life in New York City, very, very literal, as we already heard. And we were like, this is a really cool song. We really love that it's a nod to, the spirit of New York in the summer. But the guitar hook just isn't good enough yet. And so we actually didn't have the Tom's Diner interpolation in it for most of the like writing of the song. And we were just sitting on the song because we were like, there's something really special here, but it's like, it's not there yet. And so we just kept listening to it. And then we realized that Tom's Diner is also just like a day in the life in New York City. And so we were like, why don't we do like a very purposeful nod to Tom's Diner? Because it's kind of like the 2022 version of Tom's Diner, our version of the city, like maybe downtown instead of uptown. And, at the places that we like to go to, like Miss Favela instead of like the diner. That's when we interpolated it and then like felt like the song was finally finished. So it came much, much later.
Now, when you're using, again, an iconic sample like that, do you get worried about the original artist, what they're going to think of it?
I wouldn't say worried, but definitely then we reach out and we're like, hey, are you cool with this interpolation? And hopefully we feel like we're paying homage and showing respect to the original song. And, they were really cool with it. And obviously they get some publishing and everyone wins.
Yeah, I mean, you guys did an incredible job with it. Is that the original or did you guys recover it?
In the song, it's Sophie singing like an interpolation of it. It's not actually Suzanne Vega's voice. But yeah, we never even really thought to try to actually put that in. I also think that comes with more complications on the business side.
Yeah.
But it was always sort of let's just have Sophie sing it in and see how it sounds, and it felt really natural. I guess also to answer the question before, I was hearing 9 of Sophie's in my ear, so I don't know exactly what she said. But the only reason that I really care if Suzanne Vega or honestly whoever owns that song, she could have sold it at some point. I don't know exactly, but whoever had to clear it, it just, as long as they like it enough to clear it, or they don't care and they're like, oh, we might make some extra money off this, so we should let it go. Whatever the reason is, that's kind of all, that because I love the song so much. So like, if she personally didn't love the song, I don't really care.
Suzanne Vega, when you're watching this, I apologize in advance.
Obviously, I want her to. I want everyone to. But like, I love it. As long as she lets us use it, we're on good terms.
Well, I do have to say that you're kind of blowing my mind. I thought that it was a sample of the original. I didn't know it was you singing, Sophie, so you did an amazing job with that.
Thank you.
How many different versions are there? We always like to find out from when you started working on it and then tweaked along the way to when you finally mastered it. How many different versions are there?
I can't even explain to you how many versions of this song exist. It's insane because first of all, we had the melody, And then we were like, okay, well, we want to write like a story, just like something that's very matter of fact and very kind of colloquial. Just take us on a journey. And I can't tell you how bad these lyrics were. Like I remember writing like 5 different versions of the song and then like being like, Tucker, like I finally got it. And he'd be like, okay, let's hear it. And just like, I was mortified. I was mortified by how bad the songwriting was. And then finally I was like, okay, let me stop thinking so hard. Let me stop overthinking and overanalyzing and trying to make this so freaking clever and just write very simply exactly what I've experienced, exactly what I feel like doing, which is being in New York right now because I'm stuck in my house in Florida and like really miss my friends. And then it just felt so good. So that was the first thing. And then like we had that, like the hook part was like this guitar part for a while. And then we changed the guitar to a different guitar and it just like never was feeling right. And then we finally were like, why don't we interpolate Suzanne Vega? And then finally it all came together. But this was like,
even the first, we had even thought about it part of the way through making the song because we were like, geez, this really is kind of like that song, the way we're walking through a day. And she was walking through a day on like the Upper West Side in 1983 or something. And we were like, man, it's interesting how many parallels there are, but we weren't using that part yet. And then we thought of it, but didn't actually throw it in. And then we were listening to it again in Turkey. Yeah. And our manager, Justina, was like, she started humming it while we were listening to it in the car. And we were like, oh yeah, we talked about putting that part in. And then we all started singing it before it was in there, but we were just singing over it. And we had the driver, we kept having him replay it, so one of our phones was playing it on the Bluetooth. And we were like, oh my God, I think we have to put this in. And it was so weird because we'd already talked about it, but then it got re-brought up again while we were doing the music video for Forgive Me in Istanbul. It was very organic. Like it was that unintentional. Some people really do start a song with like a famous sample and they're like, okay, everyone knows this sample. We're going to have a good chance of it being a big hit song because it's going to register in people's minds and it'll be obvious and maybe it'll, radio people will like it. And this was actually like the opposite. It was crazy.
Did you guys have to retool around it once you decided on using that sample or did it fit?
It slid in like a glove.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes. Well, congratulations on your 3rd year with a #1. That is so amazing for you guys.
That really is so cool. I couldn't believe it when I saw that.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it either when I saw your post. Wait, that sounded rude. That wasn't what I meant by that. That is not.
We'll take it.
Well, congratulations on another #1. I know you guys also have a very special Wet Tennis Vegas show that's going to be coming up the end of this month. What else is next for Sophie Tukker?
Yes. August 21st in Las Vegas, the full themed Wet Tennis Vegas show at the New Tao Beach Club, which is the best day club in Vegas, I think. It's so beautiful, and it's going to be really fun with all the tennis themed and everything like that. And then we're going on a European tour in September for the wet tennis tour. We're getting on a bus and going around Europe doing that. And the end of August, we have other shows in the U.S., right, Soph?
Yeah, and then we're also doing ACL in October, and we've got another U.S. run in October. So we're doing basically we got COVID during the last tour, and so we have to go back, or not have to, we got to go back and do some of the shows that we missed, and then we're doing some Southern U.S. live shows.
It's awesome seeing how busy you guys are. I don't like talking about the C word anymore because I'm hoping it's all in the back, but
the pandemonium.
The pandemonium, yes. But you guys getting it offset, how much did that screw you up?
It's unfortunate because obviously people bought tickets and a lot of times people would travel and then get hotel rooms, and that really bummed us out.
It's kind of a risk that we know we're taking with touring, especially tour bus touring at this time in the world. We could have waited longer, and when it does happen, it's not great financially, but otherwise we don't tour. And we love touring. We love connecting with people. The fact that we're able to do it now, even with these hiccups, is still so worth it and so amazing. And especially to see the community that built around like the live stream during the time of the C word, to see people in person and to make the effort to get everywhere means a lot to us, and it means a lot to meet everyone, to see people in person.
And I think I could speak for all the Freak fam when I say that it's awesome seeing you guys live in person. So I kind of feel like fans need to go into it with an understanding that this is something that can happen. I mean, this is what we're dealing with now. So you got to be understanding when it does happen, unfortunately.
And if it's not a risk you want to take, totally understand. We're not going to hold it against you. We'll come around next time. Hopefully it's a little safer,
So I'm going to blame this whole botch of an interview on the C word, even though it has nothing to do with it. But it is so awesome seeing you guys again. Thank you so much for your time on America's Dance 30.
Thank you. Best years ever.
Hold on.
Turned out to be my favorite one, actually.
Great. Now we got to screw up every interview.